last night about how you had coached him, kind of telling him that what you did last year, it's not good enough, and still a lot more work to be done. How has he responded to that from what you've been able to see it?
I mean, he responded well. You know, that's the approach that as a coaching staff we've taken, and the stance that I've always taken with the guys. Everybody gets a fresh chance and a new start, and he's done a good job just buying into the beliefs of the coaching staff, the beliefs of Coach Jones, and the beliefs that I have for the position.
Well, you had seen film with him. What were the areas that you thought this is where he needs to work?
Well, I just started from the film that we had from the first day of us being here. You know, that's all I really judged him off of, you know, because that's all that matters. I mean, every coaching staff has a standard, you know, things that they require. So I didn't watch old film because the way he practiced and the things that he did may have been what he was taught. You know, so all I did was just evaluate. You know, from day one we said we want you to finish, we want you to be physical, we want you to chase down the field and make blocks, do the extra things that people don't notice. So those are the things that I judged him on from day one, and we've definitely come a long way from the spring.
You feel like he's a guy who likes to be coached that way? Some guys can't handle that. He just seen he feels like you've challenged him every day, and basically, you know, like you said, clearly not good enough. A lot of things that you do. You see that he likes it.
You know what? I don't live in the concern of do they like it or not. You know, they've done a good job of accepting it and buying into it. You know, and I think they're able to see the product on tape. That's what I think it is. You know, I think we've told them to do some things that they never had to do before, and I think they're starting to see the results. You know, and it's all about laying a foundation. You know, will it happen immediately? You know, will it all come to fruition this year? It may not. But for years to come, the foundation and the expectation that we have for this team and for the running back position, I think it'll build onto it.
Is finishing your biggest criteria for Saturday? Is that your number one thing that you want to see in your judgment in your mind?
Running backs have to finish. You know, we talk all the time about finishing our blocks, definitely finishing our runs. You know, just being great finishers. You know, I think that's the mark of a great running back, especially in this league.
What's the biggest difference you see in John now versus maybe when you first started?
I think he's just understanding that every little thing you do matters. You know, taking the proper steps, giving the great play fakes. And I tell the backs all the time, you may touch the ball 20 times at the most. What are you going to do the other 60 plays in the game? You know, I think that's what makes backs great. Not just when you touch the ball, but the way you carry out your fakes, the way you chip block on the way out. So I think that's the part that I think they're starting to understand, and we hold them to a really high standard.
Where's Marlon at right now? In terms of his progression on the field, his growth, you know, as a back?
Really good. I tell you what, he's probably taking the biggest strides as far as learning offense and just understanding what the offense does. He's a guy that's understanding how to watch more film. He's very smart, sound in protection. Does a good job taking mental reps. So, you know, he's a guy that we're excited about as an offensive staff.
How much of a read can you get on running backs in preseason with some of these thud drills where you're not taking them to the ground, then they come out and get the lights on? How different is that?
Well, I'll tell you what, we have some physical practice. That's one thing about Coach Jones. He wants us to get banged up a little bit. Obviously, we have to be smart, and you won't really tell anything about your football team until you put the pads on everybody, every position. But, you know, I think for the most part, they've done the things that we've asked them to do. They've showed some toughness, done a really good job protecting the quarterback, protecting the football. And but like you said, I mean, the real test will come on Saturday, and it doesn't matter the opponent. You know, it doesn't matter Austin Peay or whoever we're playing. It's about us. It's not about our opponent. We just want to go out and dominate for 60 minutes, whoever we're playing.
What's it like for a coach going into the opener? I mean, you put in the preparation now. Just, well, wait and see what happens. What's that like?
I mean, you get nervous just like a player. You know, as a coach, we really just play through the kids. You know, so the same, you know, jitters and excitement, anxiety that you have as a player, you have it for your kids, because you want those kids to go out and be successful. And they've worked. They've done all the things behind the scenes that a lot of the fans hadn't seen, and you guys hadn't seen. They've sacrificed time and spending time with their family. So you really want those guys to go out there and have some success. So, you know, we're excited and nervous just like the kids are.
It's a little worse in a way because they can affect what happens on the field. You can't.
We can't. Yeah, and that's one of the thrills of being a coach. You know, you get to you know, just coach from a standpoint of things you wish you would have done, and just the way you want to get them prepared to be the best they can be. You want to give them the best chance to be successful.
Who are you behind Lane? Behind Rajon and Martin, Bruce, Walden, and Tom?
They're on the sideline, and whenever the next guy's ready to go, he's ready to go. We don't have a depth chart. That sounds like some cool stuff to say. I mean, who goes out first? Rajon may go out first, and next play Marlon will be in, and next play Tom may be in. So it's just going to be by committee until we get a nice feel for who the guys are, to be honest with you.
The fact that Tom was on that depth chart at all, kind of, does that indicate that he's done some things since the spring to take a step forward?
He has. I mean, Tom's been here for a long time. It's our job as coaches to find a role for him. And we have to play with who we have. We can't go create someone else. So I think Tom bought into the role of helping on special teams, which to me, running backs have to be those guys. He's done a good job finding a way to get on those, and the more you contribute on special teams, I think the more opportunities you'll get as an offensive player. So we'll definitely find a role for him. It's a long season. I have to always prepare him like he's a starter, because at any moment he may have to play.
Robert, Rajon and Marlon are maybe the two most proven guys in this offense. Just have you guys talked to them about maybe having to lean on them, and what maybe have you seen from them that they can handle kind of some of that pressure, some of that role?
We talked about it a little bit. I mean, these guys are mature guys. I mean, they understand that they do have some of the most experienced. They're two of the most experienced guys in this offense, other than the offensive line. So they understand that the strength of our football team is our offensive line, and we have to do a great job of helping those guys protect the quarterback. We got a new starter, and also helping the guys on the perimeter. And you do that by being able to run the ball. So we talked about that a lot. So that's something that they always have in the back of their mind. So they've done a good job working. Again, on Saturday night, we'll see if they buy into it and they really go out and make plays.
How have you seen them kind of progress here towards kind of the end of the camp and going into this?
They've done a good job just continuing to work hard and fighting to stay healthy and just taking a lot of good mental reps. And we'll see what happens Saturday night.
You've got a veteran offensive line and you've got a veteran running backs. How much does that help their chemistry, or with the new offense, is it like starting over?
You know what? I mean, we've had about almost 30 practices now. So we don't want these guys to buy into the whole it's a new offense deal. It is what it is. The fact that those guys have played a lot of games together, those are things you hope that in the first quarter, after they break a sweat, they look around and say, hey, guys, we've been here before. I recognize the guy in the huddle. It's not just the plays, it's football. I mean, a lot of the things we call the plays, they called them last year. So hopefully once they get into the game, they get in the huddle, they'll snap into it and they'll just become football again.
That's your typical coaching style, the way you've acted toward these guys about still have a lot more to do. They haven't really done anything yet. That's kind of your typical MO when you're in a new place.
Well, here's the deal. My job is to coach, critique, and correct. None of that's fun. My job is to find one thing for you to get better at, and once you get better at it, I find the next thing that you got to get better at. It's not my job to be your fan. You have Twitter, Facebook. You guys can tell them how good they are. My job is to coach them. My job is to always find ways to make them better. And when I do that, they'll respect me more and more. So it's not about trying to gain friendships. It's about making those guys be the best football players they can be.
With Rajon, where do you still see room for improvement?
And like so many areas, just the little things. Like I said, it's not just about running the football. It's about the way you finish. It's about training your eyes to be in the right place on protections, the way you communicate, the way you substitute, the way you get lined up, the tempo that you play at. So there's a checklist of things that we have to get better at, and each player has different things he has to get better at.
How do you, I'm sure you've already been asked, but how do you see the division of the carries that guys working out with Rajon and Marlon? Do you want to get those guys pretty even reps?
No, we want to get going. The guys that can start making plays, we're going to let those guys make plays. Obviously with the tempo we play at, we want to keep fresh guys in the game, but I'm not a guy that sits there and charts. I believe in, hey, if you're hot, you got that look in your eye, go play football. We'll bring you out from time to time, and your job is to be ready to go back in the game so the next guy doesn't get hot. That's the kind of competition I want.
Thank you.